And still 4 to go in this series, and you would expect he would play probably all of those. I guess what it also does, even though he hasn't rested much as other partner has, Muzarabani, it's also given an opportunity for Zimbabwe to see what's outside of their top bowlers. We've seen a young Gwandu get some more opportunities. Tinotenda Maposa, who's yet to feature in this series, although in the white ball squad.
I was going to ask you though, is that can he be rested? There's 4 balls left. There's 4 games left in the series. Is Zimbabwe willing to give him a rest? Depending on what happens, whatever happens today, if Zimbabwe wins this game, maybe they might look at it. But if Zimbabwe lose this game, are they comfortable to leave him out in the final ODI?
Yeah, probably not. And they want to win that series desperately, and they want to have their best available bowlers.
And maybe the T20s it's maybe when he'll get rested, but there's also 3 days before the first T20 starts after the one-day series. So yeah, it's a thin line. You probably think, well, he might as well just play all the games and then be rested after the series is done against IRE. That's why planning is so important.
Yeah, and you bring up a fair point, because this is a discussion that would have happened and has happened prior to the start of the season, and it sounds like the general consensus was that him and Muzarabani would rest, well, a lot more than he has, certainly.
Yes, Stones, yes!
2 to end the 14th, 79 for 1.
Ireland and Paul Sterling fully in control of this match at the moment. 13 runs ahead of where Zimbabwe were at this stage. Wellington Masakadza. Best of 4 for 21. Has a really important role to play. Just come in. Oh, well, in the first ODI. Picked up 9 for 40 in that match. A couple of chances put down. Zimbabwe's fielding didn't support.
Wait on! Yeah, right.
Okay. There's a good change, Darlington. Trying to slow things down to try and see who can stand up in the Zimbabwe's bowling attack to sort of unlock the wickets column for Ireland. Yes, they've got the 1 wicket, but they need more, because very well Ireland are in control of the situation and looking to take full advantage.
One leg towards you. Next time.
Something we've seen earlier today. It was a combination of the left arm, Matthew Humphreys, no left arm, and Andy McBride really slowed down the scoring, made it tough for Zimbabwean batters.
Just get a feeling that Wellington Masakaza might just play a very key role in this game. His ability to attack the stumps, and then might just force a few false shots, waiting for those errors from the batters.
Just the 1 wicket to fall. Vandy Balbirnie, absolute jaffa from Zarabani. And Sterling and Kamfar in control for Ireland at the moment. Off a good length, a brute of a delivery. And Andy Balbirnie just couldn't get out of the way of this one.
Very good delivery from Blessing Zarabani. Would love to do that. That's Zimbabwe's bowling card. Zarabani again, solitary wicket that he picked up. And everybody else has been searching. See the introduction of Wellington Masakaza and try and get some spin.
Ireland need 165 from 35. 4.7 runs per over. Great day here at Harare Sports Club. Just enough cloud cover to keep it cool for the players on the ground. This was forecasted rain, but it looks like it's going to stay away from us this afternoon. And a change of ends for Trevor Gwandu. Been a little bit expensive so far.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about this move. I would have thought that Sikandar Raza will come from the other end, try and put spinners, because Trevor Gwandu has some bit of difficulty in having control, being consistent. He's already bowled 3 and gone for 20.
But I can also understand, we saw some deliveries misbehave off just short of a good length when bowling from that city end. And Gwandu's natural length should get a couple of deliveries to pitch in that area.
It's 2 full. Fortunately enough, Craig Irvine does the busy work to clean up.
He needs to find something, doesn't he? Started well. Gave away a 6 to Paul Sterling. Just a gentle half tracker. And, a no ball followed up with a wide. Over after that. So he's just really got to get back into this match.
Yes.
That is that length we're talking about.
It's around the area that he'll need to operate from, and then vary a few deliveries. Right, the African drum is out. Definitely trying to put some tunes and beat some rhythm probably into Trevor Gwandu's bowling.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun down there at the Castle corner. Keep us really, really well entertained.
Interesting fact about that drum play is that he's facing away from the field.
It's into the pads. Should just be 1 run. There's Timotenda Maposa, who's on the field as a substitute fielder, does the fielding. To move smartly to his left to cut that one off. He's had a good game so far. Another bowling option for Zimbabwe with his off spinners. Beautifully bowled. I cannot understand how that has missed the off stump. Curtis Kamfer was looking to work that through the onside, and it's nipped away sharply.
That's a good delivery. A very, very good delivery. Too good for both sets of furniture. Bat and the stumps. Yeah, we understand, Trevor Gwandu. We understand how close that was.
That's a much better length, and that is the business area where we've seen a couple of deliveries really respond. 84 for 1. Partnership 57 from 67. Curtis Kamfer has 20 of those, and Sterling 25.
Nice, switch up.
found the outside edge. And there's no slipper in place, and it runs away to the boundary. And Sterling gets a lucky streaky fall.
Well, the wicket-taking opportunity that Zimbabwe was searching for, they get one. But I have no slip in place. Runs away for 4. Paul Sterling will gladly take those runs.
Just a little bit of turn for Masakadza.
Now what a moment will that have been. Came on to Marumani quite quickly. I think it did brush his thigh pad as it went past him. Do you bring in a slip?
First stint at the beginning of this match, I just was really surprised the way Blessing Zarabani bowled for long periods with just one slip on a surface that was responding to the way he was bowling. And I think the same as can be said here about Wellington Masakadza. Really have to try and find a wicket. It's the breakthrough that Zimbabwe need. 89 for 1.
Let's just leave it like that. I'm not this. Over the stumps?
Trevor Gwandu is going to continue from the city end. I've just seen a couple of deliveries really respond off the wicket for him. And still no extra catches. It's just Tadiwa Nashimarumani, the wicket keeper. No slippers or gully around him. Looks as though he's settled into a much finer rhythm as the Sheikh leads the crowd at the cow corner.
You're hoping that he can move some force to be blown onto the field of play so that things can move Zimbabwe's way.
This is good, much better from Trevor Gwandu. He settled into that area around the line of the off stump.
This is what will be important for Zimbabwe's game to improve, to go on as a team for the future, to say who can stand up and be counted after Blessing Zarabani and Richard Ngaraba. And those are the bowling options that that man and the captain will be looking for. Yes, he does have Raza, but apart from those three, who else can stand up and be counted?
That's off the pad, and Marumani's done well. He's moved smartly to his left and probably saved a couple of runs.
Swinging leg side. Would have been a shot that Sterling would be comfortable playing.
Warming up, Skandaraza. He's run down the wicket at him. Again, we've seen the ball really take off from a good length.
They're looking to amp up things here. Paul Sterling coming down the track, looking to smash that one away. And that steep bounce that you're talking about sort of saves Trevor Gwandu.
Just 5 dots in a row from Trevor Gwandu. He's bowled well this over, this young man. Make sure he just needs to finish off this over.
It's been a good 5 balls. That's why you saw Sterling looking to come down the track and attack him, because he's done well, particularly in this over. Dot ball pressure is what Zimbabwe will now to consistently build up, and maybe they can create another opportunity.
It's a maiden over. First one for Trevor Gwandu in this match, 89 for 1. One maiden for Trevor Gwandu. Only wicket to fall was that of Balbirnie to Mzarabani. And Masakadza has been good thus far.
Oh yeah.
Choose the call immediately, as Ryan Bennett has a long way to go to haul that one in. Tinda Maposa just had some fielding duties, as this thing was in the change room.
Yeah, both of Zimbabwe's seamers, Mzarabani and Garava, were off the field for a couple of overs. So Tony Minyonga on the field, as well as Tinda Maposa.
Probably not straightening enough to threaten the stumps.
Just slowing that one, looking to find some purchase, hopefully. And this occasion would have gone down leg side.
Nice Willie. Stuff Willie.
You were talking a little while ago about dot ball pressure. Zimbabwe in combination have it right here.
Oh, nice wish. Yes, Willie.
Maiden in the previous over from Trevor Gwandu. And just 2 runs. Only 5 deliveries
Nice,
that
Willie.
Masakadza has bowled in this over. He's called again. It's 2 is the call. Ryan Bennett has to cover a lot of ground. And that wide open spaces towards that grandstand. 93 for 1.
I'm sorry.
Zimbabwe were 85 for 3 here. 9 Ireland, 93 for 1. There is a bowling change.
Oh, pizza.
In for the first time this afternoon is Sikandaraza. Right arm mystery spinner with a best of 4 for 55. He's playing in his 150th match today.
That's a big moment for Raza. I thought that the team would have rounded up to rally him with morning. 50 caps for a nation. It's a big milestone. Hope we can put up a performance that befits that achievement.
Well, a little too straight. And it's Richard Ngaravas done the fielding. And Curtis Comfort's run really, really well.
He called for the 2 quite early. And he knew he's the one who was going to be running to the danger end. Loosener from Raza. Paddled away. Brisk running in between the wickets there from Curtis Comfort.
Late appeal from Marumani. It's called wide.
An even later appeal from Raza. Looking at that one. Where did that come off?
No!
It's just been a good passage of play for Zimbabwe. Managed to just really slow down the scoring. Obviously Madevere this time has to cover a lot of ground to keep it down to just 1 run. This time it is Brian Bennett. To get in there, get out the dive.
Nice,
Keep it down to just 1 run.
A brilliant piece of film with it. Shows commitment. Took the dive, caught it on the bump.
No run.
99 for 1.
Mangan.
99 for 1, and just 10 runs ahead of where Zimbabwe were at a similar stage, with an extra 2 wickets in hand. Largely thanks to the highest wicket in Zimbabwe for Ireland for the 2nd wicket. And this is going to be a well-fought boundary from Paul Sterling.
Well, it's been about a while since Ireland had gotten a boundary, and this one sort of just loosens the pressure that was building. And Musakadza just offering just a bit of width. Played very well, and played a bit late as well.
Brings up the 100 for Ireland. The second 100 has taken 68 deliveries. Partnership now 76 from 93. Previous highest partnership for the 2nd wicket for Ireland against Zimbabwe was 70 between Camphor and Balbirnie in 2023.
Yeah, Camphor is still out there in the middle, 27 from 46.
Jadu.
Good.
What do you think is the way for Zimbabwe to go here? Another bowling change, but maybe perhaps
Gloves, hat, drinks,
Masakadza bowling his 4th.
I'd say a bowling change would probably offer something as a bowler.
no run.
Toss a few up, invite them to go for the big shots and take that risk. Maybe hopefully you can be able to get something.
A single will end the 21st over, 105 for 1. Ireland firmly in control. It's on the back of their highest partnership for the second wicket against Zimbabwe.
Wes.
What's up?
Hey! Hey, BC!
It's just been a really quiet period for the Zimbabweans. As Ireland extend this second wicket partnership.
Wait on! Well run.
Come at a good rate, strike rate, 78.
Dale Coco Saki. Dio Saki.
He's gotten it fine. Looks like it's going to run away, but it's Richard Ngarava keeps it down to 2 runs.
Yeah, it's been an excellent partnership. 80 of 101. Kamfer with 30, Sterling with 44. It's a way of setting up your stall in terms of a run chase. Been very watchful. You look at their strike rates, 59 and 74. Nothing that's blown Zimbabwe away, but the fact that they haven't lost wickets and put pressure back onto this batting side, we saw in the first ODI when there's a lot of runs to be had. When wickets fall, they don't quite find the options down the order. Good afternoon, Tino.
Good afternoon, Ed. Yeah, it's been a brilliant partnership. I think especially because they had to fight through a difficult period where Zarabani was coming into his own after his first over.
Oh.
108 for 1.
And so now they need 138 to win. 28 overs, a shade under 5 runs and over. You'd expect a comeback from Ireland, and you'd think to yourself, where would it emanate from? First of all, winning the toss, bowling. It wasn't a situation where they blew Zimbabwe away, but Curtis Kamfer really changed the status of the game, and he picked up those wickets in a flurry. And then the other side where you'd expect them to improve is their top 4 firing. But more importantly, if their top 4 is still there at the end.
Well, the one day they had off yesterday, Ed, you can tell that they certainly gone away and thought about how they're going to come back into the series in this match. They won the toss, elected to bowl again today, and straight away there was a difference from what I saw in the first ODI. They bowled much better lengths early on at the Zimbabwean batters. Whether it was Josh Little himself, or it was a team decision not to take the new ball. I thought was a good one. Worked well. And then Curtis Camphor coming in and blowing away the middle order. Great catch we saw from Harry Tector. So all the way through, and even when a partnership was going, they broke that and then never looked back. Lost early wickets at regular intervals in their chase the other day. Today, totally different story.
Oh. Yeah. Easy.
113 for 1.
Still a bit to go, 133 runs. Zimbabwe would need to try and pick up a couple of wickets pretty quickly. You can possibly turn back to Ngarawa or Musarabani or Gwandu, spinners. Masakadza's 0 for 22 in his 5. Raz is just into his spell, just 2 overs for 9 runs. So this is one area of the game they could fight back with this man in picture.
Nice, Saki.
I was just going to say, with the reverse of Ireland getting better, your opponent as well, you expect him to hit a standard and then try and hit that standard again and carry on the good batting form, and the bowlers as well complementing that. It just seems that Zimbabwe today have just missed that a little bit, haven't they?
I'll have to agree with you, Ed. And this morning at the toss, I asked a question to Craig Irvin. Yes, 299, very good score, competitive, and you won comfortably. But are you concerned that 235 of those runs were scored by 2 people?
Nice, Saki.
Doesn't happen often in a one-day international innings, and take nothing away from Brian Bennett and how well the captain played. My question was coming from the point that if the both of you don't get runs today, then the other batters haven't got anything in the first game. And you would expect with that lineup that the other batters would have had a little bit more. Through the field, and that'll be 4. Brings up 50 for the captain. Very responsible innings so far.
Yeah, much appreciated, and it's also nice when it comes from the skipper. 50, number 31. And he goes there in style because he really has to wait and then just play it off his back hip to sort of find that gap. Should also mention, if Ireland are always to bounce back, there's these key players that stand up. Mark Adair, this man in picture, Balbirnie, Brian. Yeah, your question was a good one. And you'd expect if 1 or 2 fail, the others take up the slack.
Right on. No.
Continue that in the next over. 15 for 1. Early days yet.
And one particular player out the blocks very quickly.
That's where Jadu, that's too good. One check, boys.
Almost got 200 runs from his 2 innings, Brian Bennett. So yeah, just going back to the conversation there, that's what I figured from the batting side of things. hasn't gone as well for Zimbabwe. And you just look at Ben Curran's innings, for example. That was covered by a very good knock from Bennett the other day and all the way through the innings. Today it wasn't because he got out early. And then so did the captain. You come to the bowling in the afternoon and Zarabani has a horror of a first over, comes back quite nicely after that. But already Ireland have got a good start because of that. Ngarava slightly too full 3 or 4 times and he gets put away to the boundary, and already you've got off to a flyer. As opposed to the other day when you got a wicket first ball up. And then they continue to just chip away with those early wickets, Zimbabwe.
It's always crucial when you strike inside that power play and strike from both ends, right? And that can sort of remedy some of the runs that you're probably short of. And I think Zimbabwe look back at their innings saying that it's a foregone conclusion, but if they look back at any stage of this game or whatever result comes out, they'll probably think we're about 40-50 shy. Probably could have accelerated the game at different phases of the game. Maybe shot selection also from the batters coming in. Anyway, 1, 2, 3 for 1.
जी गुजर साहब आ जाओ डॉक्टर ने क्या किसी को जाके
Rain had threatened, the clouds had come in and seemed to have just fallen away and moved on further south. I expect the next week to have good weather, warm weather, and as expected, this partnership needs to be broken. And who do you turn to? The bowler who's in decent bowling form. Picked up 4 in the first ODI, picked up 7 in the test match in the first innings. And so the skipper turns to him to break this partnership, which is getting out of hand now at 96. It'll be interesting, and also we've seen the ball just rear and bounce from the city end. When you have a conventional field, there'll be no catches. For me, that's a slight surprise. Got to have someone to try and effect the catch. Oh, meets that nicely. He knew it was coming. He knew it was going to be short, and it's well executed by Kamfer.
Yeah, to Curtis Kamfer, you'd rather err fuller than short. Very strong on those short deliveries, and that brings up the 100 partnership as well. And Ireland just in total control of this innings and of the game.
Just steady the ship as Balbirnie left, 27 for 1. What do you make of a Kamfer at 3? You know, what do you make of him? I've seen him only the last few times batting at 3. I'm not sure, is he your most conventional number 3?
He's not your most conventional, but I think he gets the job done. I was surprised when I saw him walk in at 3 in the test match. I'm opposed to that, but certainly in one-day cricket, because he's energetic. You walk out there and he's looking to get busy straight away, whether or not the team's lost an early wicket. So much so that on an earlier stint with Victor Mpitsang, I said, should he maybe just tone it down a little bit, because Ireland are in a good position. They don't need too many, but you know, he was walking down to Zarabani early on, but that's the way he plays. That's how he gets into the game. If he's walking in at number 3 and facing the barrage that he did from Zarabani earlier on and coming out unscathed, putting together a 100-run partnership with the captain, then I think it's a good move.
So a little bit of a quandary that I've been sort of scratching my head since the first ODI about Marumani batting at 7. He's an out-and-out sort of opener. He's the one that really makes use of the power play. And so batting that low, think to yourself, well, are they different roles, or the remaking of players, or readjusting of your batting order?
Yeah, that one was one I didn't understand from as soon as I didn't see him walk out as part of the opening pair. I thought maybe he'll come in at 3, which he hasn't. Now, I've got no problems with him being given a different role and a new role that he's been prepared for at provincial cricket, and has shown that I can do that job at that part of the innings, because it's a crucial position. And although Zimbabwe ended up winning quite comfortably that first ODI, they didn't get those runs in that section of the innings that they would have wanted towards the back end. And I just don't see him being that kind of explosive player at the end as opposed to the beginning. No! 129 for 1.
Over.
Highest second wicket partnership for Ireland versus Zimbabwe. And the chief contributor, 55 off 70, 6 fours and 1 6. Yeah, he got all of that. Got all of that as well. Also been a little bit lucky on some occasions, but luck he'll take. And, one of the best in this compilation of 55. Yeah, so it's the second highest second wicket partnership for Ireland versus Zimbabwe. The previous best was 105 between Andy Balbirnie and Paul Sterling. That was in Breedy in 2019. At the other side of this defending of this total, you'd need a Raza to also make a difference. And so if Ireland can just blunt him to some degree, really going to be difficult work for Craig Irvin to figure out where do the wickets come from.
Yeah, and he'll be rattling his brain, Craig Irvin. It's just too easy at the moment. Both men well set. Less than 5 required to the over. Current rate above what is required. You know what they need? They need a spell like this man delivered this morning. Curtis Camphor.
Someone just to turn the game. Someone just to make something happen. A bit more energy out in the field. A bit more conversation. Some desperate fielding. Take a splendid catch, maybe a run out. But I did say when Zarabani came on, perhaps you could think from a captaincy point of view, where can I get a catcher? Where can I get the batter to think, well, I may have to have a feel for a ball, or I just don't like the catcher there, and so do I have to change my technique? Not availed to him. So I think someone like Raza, who can dot you up, you could put a catcher, maybe a slip in play, and come up with a plan to maybe break this partnership. To be fair, at this ground, when the team is doing well, there's a lot more noise, there's a lot more chatter, there's a lot more dancing and singing. So the reflective nature of where the fans are right now is the state of the game. Nicely fielded. They end the over. 134 for 1. There are lots of batting to come. Hector had to work for some runs, and his strike rate was very low for his high standards. Logan Tucker, good player. His Dockrell hits a long ball. There's maybe just inducing him into a shot that he doesn't really like to play. Just playing it on the bounce and the pace there, Sterling, and I think it's a low percentage shot because third is back on the fence.
नहीं आ रही आवाज आ रही है थोड़ी देर बाद एक ही आवाज आएगी नहीं आ रही
Just thought I'd wait for it, just to trickle away for four, because fine leg was a bit too square.
Now this game is just running away from Zimbabwe now. 138 for one. Just 108 more needed. Line is wrong from Zarabani. And we've seen that when he gets that length on the right line, he gets a bit of extra kick. It becomes really, really difficult for Zimbabwe. Yeah, you were talking about there'll be a lot more noise and chatter in the Ryan Sports Club when the team's doing well. It's become rather quiet.
Good covering support though. Cross embankment, blankets out, umbrellas, cooler boxes. All got their ZIM shirts on as well.
I don't know! No, fella.
Wide run rate now at just under 5. There we go. Wear it proudly. More conversation around the game. The beginning of a working week.
Wait on! No!
I don't like clowns. Hello Kitty clowns as well. Let's move on from that picture, Mr. Director. Oh, he got us, didn't he? He did. 139 for 1.
Wonderful performance from Kamfer and Sterling. 112 run partnership from just 140 balls have Ireland firmly in control. Just 107 needed.
Oh, yes. Finger, Wesley, finger.
Wesley, make sure Gwandu is awake.
Has been a really, really good performance from this pair.
It certainly has been, hasn't it? I don't know. I just think Zimbabwe needs to make the play, though. I think it's just too easy. It's less than 5 runs to the over. That's required. Good fielding. Is they need to find ways of breaking this partnership. And at the moment, while the spinner is still bowling, they're just rotating the strike quite easily at the moment. It's good fielding this, though. Wonderful work.
It's okay. It's okay. Go in!
Yeah, I think this would be the time to do that surprise bowling change. To have a couple of options. Jonathan Campbell debuted on Thursday as an option.
All right, Polly.
Wesley Madevere with his off spin is another option. I think you're definitely right. It's up to the Zimbabwean captain to try and find a way through one of these.
Oh!
Hopefully he brings a second or a third. 142 for 1. Zimbabwe and Ireland neck and neck here at this stage. But Ireland have the advantage of 2 extra wickets in hand as they chase down 246 to win. It's Blessing Zaravani going to continue running in from the city end. Has been rather expensive by his standards. But he still managed to find some pretty good deliveries.
So when you bring him back into the attack, you're probably thinking, well, I need to break this partnership, right? So how is he going to get a wicket? So you need to sort of say, okay, what I'd like you to do here is I want you to run in, hit a length, outside, on and outside off stump, because he gets a little bit of extra zip. But if he gets the outside edge, you don't have a slip. So rather get a slip in and tell your fast bowler that he's got a big spell to do here. He needs to be a little bit more aggressive with the length that he's bowling. At the moment, that's just too easy. It's a floater on leg stump. It's worked. Cross mid-wicket, and it's a couple. Supposed to go 3 there, but we understand the partnership has grown. And a lot of hard work between these 2 batters.
Yeah, because at the moment it just looks as though Zimbabwe are waiting for things to happen rather than actively seeking how to make things happen.
That's why I honestly think that he needs to at least have a slip in place. Then you sort of give your bowler... You just give him the freedom to run in and be a little bit more aggressive. It's not the first time that he's been hit on his fingers.
Oh, Well, that is perhaps a better bowling option for Zimbabwe. There's another one, little leg spinner.
Yeah, it's not the first time, as I said, and I think it's in this spell that just one has just climbed onto Curtis Camphor and has hit him on his fingers. I'm just having a look if he's okay. But it's a good partnership. They've come here and Sterling at the toss, having won it, deciding that they'll field first. He said, well, we need to be a little bit more, we need to be 15% better than what we were in the first game. Dropped a lot of catches. It just climbs, doesn't it? I mean, it's so uncomfortable for the batter. He's trying to ride the ball, but it gets higher and higher, hits the gloves. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, I sometimes think that if you put pressure on your bowlers, force them to actually have to create constraints that they can't really wriggle around, force them to have to bowl one side of the wicket. But at the moment, you've got 4 fielders on the leg side and no catches. I think it's important to really force Blessing to get that ball over the top of off stump.
Well, they had to start well. They did so by getting the first wicket. Annie Balbirnie for 11. Extra bit of bounce, pace as well. You see, you just can't do anything about it. But what you want your bowler to do is you need to give him that extra protection. Give him a slip. Tell him, listen, we want you to run in here and bowl with good pace. Well, at the moment, yeah, as you've mentioned, unfortunately, there's some fielders on the leg side, some fielders on the off side.
This is the 30th, right? So they're wrong again?
They can face a maiden, you know. It's okay. The run rate's it's not going to go away, so it's only less than 5 runs to the over at the moment.
It's just cut away. And it is Wellington Masakadza, and very interesting call from Paul Sterling as Masakadza was fielding that shouted lefty to Camphor to make sure that he came back for the second. Curtis Camphor just one hit away from what would be his first 50 in this series. Really set up the Ireland run chase, taking 3 wickets in quick succession. No! 2 of those in 1 over. With the ball was the key performer for Ireland then.
He broke an important partnership. That was crucial, and he had a plan. He ran in, he bowled with good skills. He's not of great pace, but what he does is he runs in, he bowls wicket to wicket, on and about off stump, gets the ball to move away from the right hand, and occasionally the one will to nip back. Got an LBW, got one to nip to be caught at by the keeper. So he just bowled with good intent.
That's just short one, no real energy, and Camphor gets to 50. There's 30 gone, 148 for 1. Ireland slightly ahead of Zimbabwe. You just see those worms very, very close together. And it's that extra wickets in hand, this big partnership. There's Curtis Camphor. Picks up a first 50 in this 2025 series. 3-match series between Zimbabwe and Ireland. And it's an interesting bowling change. Jonathan Campbell, in his second one-day international, bowls some leg spin in his list day career. This is, we were just talking about this a little earlier. About the introduction of a different bowler. And they've done just that as Jonathan Campbell. Just hasn't really gotten the right place yet. And this is the 50 moment for Curtis Kamfer. He's played well, has really contributed with the ball first, and now he gets himself to 50.
Gutsy cricketer, Curtis Kamfer. Good fielder. He's a good bowler. He doesn't bowl as much though. You know, he's quite handy with the ball, but he doesn't bowl much, and you can probably understand why he doesn't bowl much, because he bats 3 for Ireland now in test matches, now in 50-over cricket as well. But when he does get to bowl, he gets something. He gets something to happen, which he did today. And he broke that partnership. Good, as I said, he bowled with good skills. Got Wesley Mandevere out, LBW. Then he picked up another wicket of Jonathan Campbell.
The thing for me, the feature of his batting in this innings has been the simplicity of the way he plays. He has a very, very simple game. Isn't overcomplicated, just doesn't play too many shots, but bats with a nice tempo nonetheless. That's been smashed away. It's in the gap at extra cover. Richard Ngarava, oh, he's dived over it. Awful bit of fielding to finish over number 31, 157 for 1. Trevor Gwandu back into the attack. And it is Curtis Kamfer. His moment, but it was the last delivery of the last over. And it was just a little bit of shoddy work on the boundary from Richard Ngarava. And Sterling moves to 71. And now it's Kamfer and strike to Gwandu. Oh, he smashed him. He smashed him, and it's onto the embankment. Gentle half tracker from Trevor Gwandu gets just the treatment it deserves.
A lovely gift. Curtis Kamfer is always searching, as I said earlier. A very strong square of the wicket. Rocks back on the back foot and had all the time in the world to put that away for 6. just nothing behind the ball, isn't it? But he just rocks back, and the timing is just outstanding. It's a little bit the further side of the field, but doesn't bother him. He's got a good bat.
Much better from Gwandu this time. Yeah, something we've seen at the beginning of every spell. Takes Trevor Gwandu just a little too long to get really clicked in. That's in the air. Has to be considered a chance. A difficult one, very difficult.
Extremely difficult. It's never easy, especially if you're a bowler. He just times it too well, doesn't he? He's got no time, no reaction time whatsoever. Just throws a hand out of it. Hopefully if he just palmed it to mid-off, probably would have been a better option, but just got to him too quickly. And they just need something special, Zimbabwe. Just nothing happening for them at the moment.
Call is one from Curtis Kamfer. But I do think that you're absolutely right. All of those caught and bowled. When it's your day, they're right in the pouch. You don't have to move your hand. It almost finds your hand on its own. And then on other days, they're just never in the right place. On and another misfield. And this time it's Wesley Madevere. 32 gone, 165 for one. Most runs by a visiting batter in Zimbabwe across formats. And Paul Sterling has joined number 5 on that list. Christopher Henry Gale of the West Indies up at the top, and the great Bangladeshi all-rounder Shakib Al Hassan, Mohammad Ami and Rahmat Shah of Afghanistan. Inside edge. Not sure what all that excitement was about.
Nice, JC.
Paul Sterling has looked absolutely determined today. He's just been really, really intense and focused.
Nice, Jono.
It's good for them, though. Spend some time in the middle. An important game, the final ODI. If Ireland win this one, and then it's all 1-1, and big innings then needed to win the series. It's a steady over. End of the over. 169 for one. And time for drinks.
Sterling 74 from 88 and Kamfa 62 from 91, adding to the 3 wickets he took on earlier today. 142 run partnership between Sterling and Kamfa. That for me was the most beautiful shot to start off the morning. And then Blessing Zarabani found the outside edge a couple of times. And then it was the big pull shot of Trevor Gwandu. First the 2 sixes hit off him. And Curtis Kamfa's been very strong square of the wicket. And that is the big maximum onto the embankment as Kamfa and Sterling put Ireland in a very, very strong position.
Yeah, the bowling, well, they've toiled hard, haven't they? Garava, economical. Muzarabani was the only bowler to pick up a wicket. And then if you just look at those, Gwandu going at 5s, Mazakatsa at 4. So economy hasn't been an issue. It's just about the partnership. They won the toss. Ireland sent Zimbabwe in, who got 245 contributions by Matevero, who got 61, and Raza 58. Kamfa was outstanding, 3 for 15. So was Markadev, 4 for 54. At the moment, well, Ireland just need 77 to win, and Sterling on 74, and Kamfa on 62, not out.
Just getting a little stretch down towards the Zimbabwe change room. Skandaraza. It's Trevor Gwandu. And we'll continue from that city end. Much better start this over from Gwandu.
Yeah, better length. And that's what he needs to do. And sometimes, as a young bowler, you can't ease into a spell because then you get put under pressure. And he just tends to do that when he starts a spell. So important when he starts a spell, make sure that every single delivery you are focused, you're hitting the right length. You then create pressure. You transfer the pressure back to the batsman. Don't start and put yourself under pressure, and then you're just searching to sort of keep things quiet in the over. But so far, so good.
He's always, this is his second spell. And again, he starts this having to come back from behind. Doesn't ever help yourself as a cricketer. Just a little too easy. He has to be tight onto that channel around the off stump.
That's right, I just gotta work.
That stayed down and has been given. Really unfortunate for Curtis Kamfer. He's shaping to play that big pull shot, and that's just not gotten off the ground.
Well, there's nothing he can do about that one. He's searching, he was looking for his favorite shot. This one doesn't get up at all. And maybe is this the turning point for Zimbabwe, because they needed something to happen to try and break this partnership of 144. Yep, it's good. It's very good.
You're saying Zimbabwe needed something to go in their favor. And Curtis Kamfer has been the most unlucky cricketer. Fighting 63 from 94 as Ireland are 171 for 2. Harry Tector in his 50th ODI is in at number 4.
He was very slow in the last game, but he's got good numbers though. Career best of 140. Just bangs it in, doesn't he? That one just doesn't come up at all. He's like just looking, trying to hit this square of the wicket. Keeps low, LBW. And they needed to break the partnership. They've got it. Maybe get 1 or 2 more. Then put Ireland under pressure.
Really good running. Picks up 2. 34 gone, 174 for 2.
Yo, Trevor.
Wait.
Zimbabwe finally break the really big partnership between Sterling and Curtis Kamfer.
Slack. Left arm wrong.
Masakadza back into the attack. And he's going to go through his final 4 overs. Tector played one of the strangest ODI innings I've seen on a few days back. It took him 77 deliveries to hit his first boundary, which is very difficult to understand in a player of his class and talent.
He's got an opportunity to get himself in once again, and maybe it'll be free-flowing. And at times you sort of think, well, what does the game require? In the previous game, they needed a partnership, but his strike rate was like, what was it? At one stage, it was 40. This time, just rocks back, and only in his third ball, he gets a boundary.
Yeah, the body language has been different from the start today, hasn't it? He's looked a lot more positive, a lot more intense this afternoon, and really quickly pounces on that one from Masakadza.
Wait.
No!
Right, come please. Wait, sir. Yeah.
181 for 2.
Where's
35 overs gone 181
Just 65 required from 90 balls. What a wonderful bounce back it has been from Ireland in this second one-day international. Right from the outset this morning, they looked a different team. A team that had gone away and understood where they probably hadn't done so well in that first match and what they wanted to address coming into the second. Very good afternoon to Elaita Mirepi. How impressed have you been with the manner in which Ireland have gone about their business today?
Much better showing by Ireland compared to the first ODI in both aspects, with the ball and even with the bat today. Much better. I'll go into the detail just for this delivery. I believe that they bowled well. They didn't give too many loose deliveries that we saw in the first ODI. If you take a look at Josh Little, he had a better outing. Not the best, but just a tad little bit better. And for 1 for 75 in the first ODI. Huge contrast from 2023 when he was here, when he had those best figures of 6 for 35, for 36, I beg your pardon.
Gone. He'll be disappointed, Harry Tector, because it was a hit me ball. However, the umpire seems to feel that Trevor Gwandu might have overextended and gone over the line. So Tector's been asked to just hold on for a moment. And we're going to take a closer look at it. Oh, now. A frame before is what we'll be looking for. Where does it make contact with the ground? There might just be a bit behind the line. This will give a better indication. Oh, I'm glad I'm not in the television umpire seat.
Also a difficult call to make. It seems like just a millimeter.
No problems there. The catch is completed and a good one by Marumani. But the cheers you hear from Harare Sports Club is because it's been deemed a fair delivery. So Harry Tector has to go. He does so for 7. 181 for 3.
181 for 3.
Look. Right, pitch. All good. Just the odd one that goes up the line. Yeah, I'm here. Okay, let's go.
And no contact that comes into bat.
Lorcan Tucker
Asmero, Raram over 2.
in at 5. Comes in with a wonderful platform set by his predecessors, his 54th match. Closing in on 1,000 runs.
This is the wicket again. Good bounce, good take by Marumani because that was traveling. Trevor Gwando for a moment he celebrated. Then for another moment he would have had his heart really pumping when they were checking that delivery.
Right.
Yeah, just a little bit more noise now in Harare Sports Club. The crowd will believe those couple of wickets in recent times may just keep Zimbabwe alive.
I can't see shit.
Right.
Very good over. Wicket maiden from Trevor Gwandu, 181 for 3.
Good, Trevor.
Chap. It's a part.
That is a healthy looking scorecard. And captain still out there, 78. Curtis Camphor, 63. Sterling will know exactly what's needed and expected of him. He'll be looking to just push along, get himself to 3 figures, lead his team to victory.
Yeah, the opportunity is there. He just needs somebody to stay there. Zimbabwe, after picking up that wicket, they'll be looking to try and build some pressure with dope balls. 64 required, so there's still a chance. Some might say it might be a little bit too late, but hey, this is ODI cricket, you never know.
Just 63 required from here. Craig Irvin would have been scratching his head for a long time as to how he would break that partnership. They did so with an assisted delivery that just didn't get up to get Camphor. And then they got another one pretty quickly. However, they need a couple more. And you feel when you look at the way the Zimbabwean innings, they were short of what they were destined to get once again. Struggled to 245 at one stage. With Raza and Madevere going, it looked like 280 was par.
Wes, keep it, Wes!
Good running. He's gone straight away. Into the 37th, it's 184 for 3.
Now, easy bowling.
184 for 3 after 37 overs. A look and tuck on 1 for Sterling on 80. It is the second one-day international match between Ireland and Zimbabwe. Ireland won the toss and chose to bowl.
Madevere led the batting for Zimbabwe with a well-crafted 61, supported by Raza 58. It was Mark Adair and Curtis Camphor who shared 7 between them. Reduced Zimbabwe to 245, and now Ireland 184, just 62 more required. With 7 wickets in hand. It's a glorious day at Harare Sports Club. And have a look at that. Required rate 4.7, going rate 4.9. Ngarawa back into the attack. Can he get a breakthrough round the wicket?
Good running, good fielding from Ben Curran, because that looked to be destined for the ropes, you would say. But he had a lot to cover there. Zimbabwe don't want to give away any freebies. Everybody needs to back their bowler. And definitely saved a couple there, and that is Ben Curran. Sterling, you'll need to play a captain's knock. 82. 18 shy of 3 figures, which will be his first as a captain.
Yeah, Eli, he mentioned that he'd be only the 3rd captain to score 100 in Irish colours, behind Porterfield and Andy Balbirnie as current teammates. His current high score as a captain is 91. That was against Afghanistan. And he might just eclipse that if he continues to play like this. Wonderful strike, Paul Sterling.
Well, you'd say that one almost being sent into orbit by Paul Sterling. He has silenced everybody here. A fantastic shot over the top. Clears the boundary by a lot of meters.
Halfway, please.
Well, the drums have certainly stopped beating here, courtesy of that shot by Paul Sterling.
Yeah, I think the faithful slowly accepting fate here at Harare Sports Club.
Sportsmanship. What's good sportsmanship?
Zimbabwe will go away. I think had they managed to get the extra 40-odd runs that were on offer, it would have meant that Ireland would have had to go a little bit quicker at the top of the innings, might have created some opportunities for early breakthroughs and maybe put the brakes on them. Outside edge, it goes exactly where your first slip would have been, but there's no one there. And bringing the bowler back in and looking for wickets, maybe there should have been one.
A good delivery from Richard Garaba. Searching for that one, finds the edge, no slip in position. The only thing that he'll find is the fence.
Less than 50 required now, 49 for Ireland. Through the field, the Western Madeira at Gully. 198 for 3.
Over.
Your pizza.
14 from that over. Becomes the second in the Zimbabwean innings. That means that the required rates come down now to just 4. Wellington Masakadza.
No!
Yeah, what can he do, Wellington? Usually in the first ODI, bowled 10 for 40.
Nice measure.
Yeah, you look at the surfaces that we've played on. They haven't been the driest, a little bit of moisture. Yes, the first one had a lot more cracks on it, but not really ideal for the spin bowlers. So they get a couple of wickets, they've done well for you. If they're economical, on top of that, then they've done very well. So they just need to make sure that they keep the one end quiet, and he did that very well in the first game. He's done it again today. None for 36, but different context to the game, of course. Different playing surface and how much was put on the board by Zimbabwe.
Wes, keeper! Wes!
That's good running.
Yeah, Wesley has operated very well. That's, beg your pardon, Wellington Masakadza. Very economical, just a single that is given so far in this over. And rightly said, in the context of the game and the surfaces that he's playing on, the only thing that you can do is limit the scoring options, try to create that dot ball pressure.
Nice.
199 for 3.
Good judge.
.47 from 66. Last 11 overs of the innings. Been a tough afternoon for the Zimbabwean bowlers. Been a tough afternoon for those fans. Not too much to celebrate for the Zimbabwean faithful. You can see a discussion going on there between the senior bowlers, the captain. What field are we putting in here, guys? How are we looking to try and get a couple of wickets and get them quickly?
Yeah, that strategy will need to be very clear. Because from the end that is coming from Richard Ngarava, Blessing Zarabani did get a couple of edges as well. But the one thing that was short there was a slip. Blessing Zarabani at one point had a first slip and a flying gully the moment that they removed them. And they had two chances that went in that region. Now we count Richard Ngarava. Can they just be a little bit more aggressive and attacking and put a slip in there?
Yeah, what will be going through Craig Irvin's mind is, yes, I need the slip in. He also wants to put some protection, because Gully, Jonathan Campbell.
Yeah, you have to take the risk at some point in time. For me, I think Zimbabwe can do that. Just put it there for a few deliveries and see what happens.
Yeah, he's got the mid on and the mid off up. So at the same time, he's also not saying there's an easy single. Yes, mid wicket, because there's somebody on the boundary in that region. He might be able to get the single. In the air, and it's flown over. Jonathan Campbell in the gully.
That's encouraging to see, because he was rightly placed there. And that's Jonathan Campbell, just a few inches shorter. Pitched up, went for the flashing. Went past him quite quickly, you would say.
Yeah, that's not a chance in my books. And that would be a steal if he even gets any finger close to that. And now to Paul Sterling, they've moved him out. Back into mid-wicket.
Yeah, different approach for Paul Sterling. Man was on 89 from 98.
Oh, he's taking him on. He's taking him on, and I think he's got a bit of cramp.
One.
You got to feel for the man who's been there for a while, Paul Sterling. From the start of proceedings. And now he has an opportunity to see it off.
It's not a bad option. Won the line and the height that he's got on the ball as well. That extra brings up the 200. I think he just needs to be careful here. Paul Sterling, he's looking to get after everything and in danger of getting himself out unnecessarily. I think he's thinking to himself, I'm struggling with cramp, and let me just try and get to that 3-figure mark as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we had him through the stump, Mike Richard Ngarava, just making note of that he just really wants to get some hood on anything. So this might present an opportunity for Zimbabwe. Conversations between the captain and Blessing Zarabani continue. Now do they attack Paul Sterling?
Yeah, he's not doing well, and he's asked for the team physio to come out. It looks like he's calling for some more fluids.
Definitely has done more than 10,000 steps today.
Yeah, he's done a lot. He just needs to push on for those other extra runs. 11 from here. Up in the air, up in the air. He's thrown it away, Paul Sterling. Garaba gets the breakthrough. Been a fighting innings. Just not able to get the team through.
Oh, he had struggled for the past 3 deliveries. He was struggling. And this time he just gives it away. Fair delivery. Enough behind the line from Richard Ngaraba. And just went for it. Half enough shot, not there for the pool. Great catch from Wesley Maderere. Paul Sterling definitely played a captain's knock. 89 of 102 deliveries. Ireland at 200 for the loss of 4.
200 for 4 of the 40-year-old Wilson. John Tucker comes into bat. We will announce the winner of the raffle. Right before the game ends. I will pull out the ticket number and the cell phone number as well of the winner. Please do come through. When you call out your ticket and your cell phone number.
Final power play of the innings, number 3. George Dockrell, part of a handy partnership the other evening with Lorcan Tucker, but not enough to get their team over the line. Today finds himself in a relatively simpler position. 129 matches, it's been around for a very long time. Best of 91, he can bat. Raza into the attack. Now he's one who can get breakthroughs as well. We've seen him do it over the years.
This is how they lost Paul Sterling. Wadish of him wanted to pull that one. Great catch from Wesley Maderere. He was in the air for a while, he had to keep his eye on it. And he did well. He finds the funny side of it.
Where's Wes? Oh, Wesley. Where's your straight line?
Well into the gap. So no problems at all for the Irish getting across for that single. What field are they going to go with to George Dockrell?
72. Pizza.
Backward square leg goes back immediately. But very fine. Square leg on the circle, mid-wicket. Quite square.
And this will be a good period for Zimbabwe to try and tighten the screws. There are 2 fairly new batters at the crease. One just came in, the other one's only been there for 17 deliveries. He's on 9. If they can string along a few dot balls here and create some pressure. Might just come back into this game.
Nice beat.
Yeah, 44 needed from 56 deliveries. Might seem like it's an easy equation to work out for Ireland.
Oh, confusion and a fumble from Wesley Madevere. He picks this up and Zimbabwe have got another wicket. But alas.
Period play where Wesley Madevere was trying to keep his eye on the ball as well as on the field as when they were trying to run. And for just a moment, he loses his focus on the ball.
Go.
3 from the 41st, 203 for 4.
As I was getting it.
Two, 3, 4 after 41 overs.
203 for 4. Could easily have been 203 for 5. Fumble from Wesley Madevere in the previous over that almost certainly would have resulted in a run out had he picked the ball up first time. Gwandu. He has the mid-on and the mid-off in the circle as well. Craig Irvin ringing the changes, looking for wickets. That's nicely timed. We'll come back for 2.
Go!
Yeah, looking for somebody that can provide another vital breakthroughs. Craig Irvine throws it again to Trevor Gwandu. Now, up to this moment, he's had his best performance with the ball, 2 for 38. Might definitely be looking for a better outing in the game as a whole. What can he bring out?
Oh, that's well bowled. He's seen him. Lorcan Tucker just coming down the wicket slightly early. Good adjustment from the bowler.
Yeah, great awareness of the movement being made there by the batter. He's trying to amp up things here because Zimbabwe have done well in the last couple of overs just to tighten things around. They're not giving away runs easily. So that creates that pressure that they need to get going to try and get comfortable. Lorcan Tucker's been there for a while. 22 deliveries faced. He's only on 12.
And that one just keeps a little bit low. Just deliberately rolled the fingers down the side of the ball. Zimbabwe were 197 for 6 at this stage. So Ireland, much better position, 8 runs ahead, a couple of wickets in hand as well. Oh, wide of the fielder at mid-on. For a moment, the Zimbabweans thought that this might carry to the fielder, but he's found the gap.
Well, as tall as Blessing Zarawani is, people have thought they would have gone for a diving effort there. But it went to him quite quickly. You should have gone for that one, Blessing.
I think as tall as Blessing is, you would have needed 2 Blessings to try and get anywhere near that, Eli. Oh, that's well played. That's very, very well played. He's come down the wicket again, and Gwandu's gone for the short delivery. This time, he's ready for it.
That's a well-played shot. Targets a vacant region. Next side. Comes down. Straightish delivery. Knows there's no one in that region. And finds the boundary. And ease the pressure that Zimbabwe has been trying to build on Ireland.
This is going to run away for 4 as well. So it's a very good over for Ireland. 14 from it, 217 for 4.
Was gone now. 217.
Yeah, an expensive over that last one. 14 runs coming from it. Some 2, 3 big buildings for Ireland, but just steady. Don't really need to try and go to get them those buildings that high because of the required run rate that they needed throughout this innings. Only need just over 3.5 to the over at the moment. And Tucker has been busy.
Wesley.
24 of 26.
Good boy.
Looking to get the job done
7-2,
as quickly as
DT.
possible
7-2.
from the intent he showed in the last over.
Square.
Hello, Edward.
What's happening, boss?
Stay with us.
29 required. And look at the boundary again.
GG. 1-2.
Just sits up in the surface and played well in front of square. Dockrell is a very positive player. He comes in and wants to get on with it. Only faced the 2 deliveries.
Yeah.
So Raz has got to make something happen. Just where I was watching from my vantage point about this flow of the game, Paul Sterling's dismissal for me was a unnecessary one. I saw that he was struggling, but he could have played a little bit smarter, because what happened after that, I just sensed there was a bit of panic. There wasn't a settled nature to how to take the game forward. But now that they've built this partnership of 18 or 14, it's just allowed them to come into the game.
And generally when you're in that position, you just want to finish the game, right? You want to get yourself, you want to make sure that you're there at the end. I know he struggled with cramps. The problem is when he goes out, there's a run-out opportunity and it's missed because Mudaveri then misses the ball. And all of a sudden you've lost another wicket. And they still need quite a bit. But at the moment, as you said, this partnership has developed. And it's looking to be a good one for Ireland to make sure that they get over the line.
If they get over the line, it makes things very interesting on Tuesday. We'll win the series. I must remind you as well that Ireland won the last series these 2 teams faced off in 2023 in December, 2-0. One game being washed out. So all to play for. They've already won the test. And now they'll hopefully level things up here and then try and push the home side, but the home side's got to bounce back well and look to be as good as they were in that first ODI.
I'm busy.
Nice piece of fielding, but doesn't stop the single. They're in the over. 220 for 4.
.20 for 4 after 43 overs.
One change, got him over. Middle.
The third one on Tuesday. Will it be a decider? Ireland want it to be a decider. They need 26 to win. But we'll be live here at IRE Sports Club on Tuesday the 18th of February. The conclusion of the ODI series. Zarabani into the attack. Ball nicely again, and the captain has to turn to him.
I'm still surprised, though. Yeah, I'm really surprised that still no slip for him. You know, it's 26 of 41, and the only chance they have here, Zimbabwe, is to get more wickets, is to break this partnership, get Dockrell out, get the lower order batters in. But you need to give him a chance. Get an extra fielder in. I say an extra fielder, get a catcher in.
You know, you say that now, Vic. I saw this perhaps about 20 overs ago, when there was that partnership where they really needed to make something happen and there were no catches. Everybody was sort of on the 30-yard circle. There was no play. And you know what? It may not necessarily go to the catcher, but the fact that the catcher is there, or the slip fielder in a certain area, makes the batter think in a different manner. Do I need to go after the bowler to get rid of that catcher, or do I need to feel for one that I don't need to feel for one outside the line of off stump?
The other thing is, if you have a fielder there, a slip fielder, the bowler's mindset also change, because he then feels that he needs to pitch the ball up to try and get the outside edge. But because there's no slip in play, he bowls back of a length, which then becomes a little bit easier for the batter. So, yeah, I just think it could have been a little bit more attacking at this stage to try and break. There was a good partnership that between the captain Sterling and Curtis Kampfer. It just took too long. But yeah, they need wickets here if they want to win this game, Zimbabwe.
No!
Logan Tucker's come out and played a good hand, 26 of 28. He goes early because he's a real specialist batter. Comes in at a time where Tector doesn't contribute. I think it's been a good surface. A really good one. We've seen some sort of lift off a length. It's a sort of patch. Just around that 7-meter mark, and we've seen some take off, especially off Blessing Zarabani from the city end. But barring that, has been very little, if anything, in terms of turn. We've seen some seam movement, we've seen some swing with that newish ball. But I think, in general, another good surface. They're looking for 2 here. It's nicely placed, and we'll get it comfortably. 200 and 24 for 4.
He's sitting, huh? Sitting on the legs.
Yeah.
That's how good it is.
Yeah.
.224 for 4 after 42 overs.
Irish captains as batters in ODIs. Paul Porterfield, how good was he for such a long time for Ireland? Right at the top of the innings, a left-hander. Andy Balbirnie up there as well. Trent Johnson. Paul Sterling now up there as well. Interesting enough, he hasn't got 100 as a captain. So something that he'll need to rectify.
He had a chance today, though, Ed. Yeah, I know he struggled with some cramps as well, so he sort of plays one and hits it straight up in the air, gets out on 89, but he really played well today.
I echo your sentiments. 100% had the opportunity to bring up 3 figures today. You know, it's easier said than done when you're up here. I've experienced cramp. I think you have as well. I just think he could have played a little bit smarter in that situation.
Yes, George.
No!
Well, single. Been busy there, Wesley Madeira. Been very busy. Just can't cut the angle off.
That's Greg.
Big confidence booster this for Ireland after a few days ago where they thought, well, we gave them too many, we weren't great in the field. This one, a sense of encouragement going into that third ODI.
Made a lot of errors, didn't they? Winning the toss. And again, the first one, they bowled first, but I just think in the first 10 they were not good. Too many loose deliveries, which allowed Bennett to settle, and who played really well for his 169, and then they managed to get to 299. And when you get to 299, never easy. 227 for 4.
Just coming to the conclusion. 30 deliveries or 19 runs. I think it'll be the 19 runs and Ireland will get across the line here. That's how it's all unfolded. Ireland winning the toss again and deciding to bowl first. And they bowled really well. There was a lot of change in lines and lengths and more discipline. Curtis Camphor was excellent when he was brought on. Just his 5 overs, picked up 3 for 13. I think that's what really turned the game. So 19 required. And happy to do it in singles.
They'll be very happy as well with the batting performance, Ireland. They rectify. I thought they bowled really well. You mentioned the spell of Curtis Camphor, 3 for 15, turned the game around and managed to restrict Zimbabwe to 245, bowling them all out in the 49th over. I just think as well, when they came and batted, you probably felt that they had an opportunity even in the 45th over. And they lost just too many wickets. 39 for 4 they lost and got bowled out in 46 overs, so didn't bet their whole 50 overs in the last game and came short as well. So a much better overall performance with bat and ball.
Slight change in the field, so I think they're going to put in a gully. So much space through the onside, no one really there in the 30-meter ring. So easily worked through there.
Waiting!
Where did it go wrong for Zimbabwe today? We've spoken on what Ireland have done right. Why hasn't it gone right for Zimbabwe?
I just thought that one over where Curtis Camphor picked up those 3 wickets, that just changed it around. And even though he picks up the three wickets, I thought there was an opportunity for Zimbabwe to get to 260. But again, the bowling was good, or maybe bad options by the Zimbabwean batters. They get to 245. I think that was the error of them not getting past 260. And then with the ball, it's just difficult because in the first 10, you probably thought that they needed to get wickets with a new ball in the first power play to get themselves back into the game. And once they went past the first power play, I don't think that the captaincy was more proactive to getting wickets in the middle period, because Ireland bet 50 overs, they win the game. The only way you win the game is by getting wickets in regularly. And that's just not been the case so far for Zimbabwe.
I think there was a great need for responsibility through that middle period, and just being a little bit smarter in seeing where they could get up to. Maybe that 280, I think, would have been a really good total. I think with the change in the batting lineup that we've seen from the first ODI or the first T20 against Pakistan late last year, there's been a number of different changes. Obviously, Sean Williams is not in the ODI squad. No ball. Oversteps there, so that'll be a free hit. So those changes for me, especially Marumani, who was in some good form against Pakistan, looked settled. He looked as if he's worked on his technique quite a bit. That's a big one. And he spoke about keeping things a lot tighter and being still. And it was working. Now you see him batting at 7. For me, it's a bit of a different one. Then you have Jonathan Campbell, who was new into the side, inexperienced there. I talk about the caps. Ireland have 752 caps as an ODI squad. In the 11 they put out today, Zimbabwe have 492. So there's a great deal of experience within the Irish side, and with slow transition within the ZIM side, there's a great deal of accountability that you need. Right, free hit. Where's he putting this? He's putting it a couple of bounces over mid-on for 4.
Yeah, he's opted to bowl the slower delivery, which allows Dockrell then to adjust, to make the adjustment to hit it over long on actually. So just waited, and just a punch. Slower delivery, it's full, and a good swing of the bat to get the boundary.
So now just 11 required. Top edge, no fielder there, so it'll be back-to-back boundaries. It'll end the over. It goes for 12, 239 for 4. All right. Some are starting to peter out. There's the boundary to end the over.
Yeah, he's always searching for the short ball, and not really there. Gets the thick outside edge, and fortunate enough, it races away to the boundary. Doesn't go to the keeper. Only 7 needed now.
Yeah, so it can do it in style. A couple of blows. Do it emphatically.
Sorry. I've got a ball in my glove.
Alton play here, George Dockrell. He's put his hand in the glove there, and he's just said, "There's a bug in my glove." And every time he puts it in there, it seems to be just nipping his finger. You know what? Sometimes you think you've seen it all. I don't know when it's got in there. He was just gesturing. I know Chubby finds it quite funny. He just can't get it out. I just don't know how it's got in there. Anyway, change the gloves. Hope the bugs are not in there as well. Let's have a look. Happy? Yeah, all good. Other one? Ah, cheers. Maybe someone played a prank on him. So that's what's caused the halt in play. Right, 7 required of 24. But what would be a good day out for Ireland, really has. I think in between these two ODIs, they've had an opportunity to sit down and discuss. Sit down and work out plans. Sit down and be a bit more accountable to their bowling. Bowling wasn't great in that first ODI and leaked a lot of runs. And so I've challenged the home side today.
Wait!
Also some runs for Okantaka, runs for the skipper, runs for Curtis Kampfer. The concern will probably be Tector in his form. In a key position there.
Yeah, he came with a different mindset today. I think if you sort of looked at the first innings, first game when he played, very slow. Today came a bit more energy, trying to look to score. Only took him three deliveries to get his first boundary today. And then just a rare one, isn't it? Flashed at one, caught behind. So he's just a good player though. I think he'll work it out. Work out the tempo that he needs to bat with.
They'll pick up 2 to end the over. 4 required. It's 242 for 4.
After 47 overs, we will announce the winner of the raffle. Just shortly after this game is done.
Running change, not a mother.
So 4 required in the second ODI here for Ireland to draw level with the home side at 1 apiece in this 3-match ODI series. It's just petering out right now. A lot more fielders inside the circle. Sweeper comes up through the offside. And Mazarabani replaces Ngarava. And this will be his final over. Picked up 4 in the first ODI. Today just the 1. Was a little bit off, wasn't he, with the radar as well. Missed his lines and his lengths.
Yeah, especially his first over. It's just when he doesn't get that timing right, he just sprays one. He sprays it down the leg side, but he managed to get his rhythm going. picked up the 1 wicket, and he hasn't been fluent enough. But wickets for Gwandu as well, just 2 of them. Quick turnaround. Just a day break, and then the 3rd ODI. Need to get those plans right. Do you rest the bowlers? What are the plans? Do you have a chat?
Some good questions there. Just the day in between between this and the next. So a practice. I think bowlers, you're probably going to try and keep them fresh. I think the batters, a little bit of a debrief. Perhaps there'll be a discussion on selection as well at the top of the order. For Zimbabwe, do they keep Ben Curran in there? Do they keep Marumani at 7? Do they bring in another batter? Who is that other batter? Tony Manyonga, maybe, who's been good in this day cricket. He's a middle order batter, also hit it a long way. Maposa as well as a bowling all-rounder. For Ireland, yeah, I don't think they'll make any changes. They lost the first game and they maintained their 11. They said, well, it wasn't good enough, we'll bounce back, and they sure did.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Ireland will change anything. I think it was more about their disciplines. What did they do wrong in the first game? And they obviously rectified most of those. First with the ball and now with the bat. Partnerships. Batters getting starts, not getting big ones. Captain got a start and almost got to 90. Curtis Kempfer got runs as well.
As this go away. They'll try and run it down. They look for 3 and they decide against it. So scores level with a ball to go in the 48th. Almost thought that it would just creep into the boundary, or they'll come back for the 3rd and then decide against it. So everybody coming in now. Everybody up. 3rd up, fine leg up, long on, long off, up. Deep backward square leg goes back. Perhaps a bouncer. And 3rd goes half the way back. And they don't get it. Scores remain level, 2:45 before.
.245 for 4 out of 48 overs.
Scores level, 1 required here by Ireland. Skandarazo will bowl this next over. It's taking some time to set the field for the 1 run that is required by Ireland.
Yeah.
The rain stayed away. It threatened this morning, but those clouds have gone off into the distance. And we've had a full game of cricket. The weather report has been up and down, hasn't it? 80% chance in the first ODI. There was a 70% chance today.
I must say, though, was it in Bulawayo during the test match you said that it was going to be raining, and well, it rained for 1 day.
1.5.
Ah, pizza, pizza!
Can't get it off the square. I thought I was pretty good with my updates on the weather in Bulawayo.
That was about it.
Yeah, I stayed away from it here because I wasn't sure. And it's quite funny, when I turn up here, everybody asks me, what's it going to be like? I said, oh, I'll check with the Met office.
Saki!
All right, lads, you're making this hard work, aren't you? Take it all the way to the final over. There it is. This is Ireland's 6th time they've tried to chase down a score in ODIs, and it's the first time in 6 attempts that they've been able to chase the score down. So that'll give them a great deal of confidence at this venue, which they enjoy playing at. They bounce back, and they bounce back well. Their bowlers were good. They were more consistent. They really did starve the Zimbabwean batters of what was a high run rate in that first ODI. They were more concise today, and then their batters complemented the bowling and fielding effort that has led to Ireland winning by 6 wickets.